doing loads of visits regarding the ideas for the new staffing.
Yeah.
Just thought this would be a great opportunity to update everybody on sort of things you've found so far.
Well, it's been really good. It's been hard work. We've been out for about the last 4 weeks now. Visited around about 150 people and spoken around staffing issues. Originally, we looked at getting people's ideas. It's turned out to be the case that people have got a lot of questions to start with, need to have that understanding before they can feel they can contribute to designing some new ideas. I've got to say there's been a couple of big questions that have seemed to come from a lot of people to start with, and that's the understanding around where we are currently with recruitment. Obviously that's giving out a bit of a message to people that, well, if we're recruiting and we're having more people coming in, why are we looking also at about changing the staffing model, and surely if we're recruiting we must have money to support what we've got. Just to answer that question, the recruitment is something that we're committed to as an organisation, so as the staffing model we currently work to can be carried on throughout next year, and able to give that commitment for people to book their leave and undertake training as we do currently.
What about then? There's obviously there's been loads of questions about the self-rostering, the LRFC, and obviously these are just a number of ideas that we've currently got. Do you just want to expand on those a little bit?
Yeah, well, first of all, the LRSC is something that people want to know a little bit about. It's been, to my recollection, about 4 years ago since that was actively looked at by the organisation. Things have changed since then, and now we've got a different response model where we've currently got BRVs in the fleet. So work is currently being undertaken to look at how LRSC and the data through IRMP would currently fit with our response model. So that's going on. The self-rostering is another area where there are big fears about the self-rostering, and just people wanting more understanding of what it means. I'll give you an example. One of the things that people are most concerned about, I feel, is this idea that we will be removing watches, so they'll no longer be able to work with the people that they're going to be working with, the training. They've got a fear of sort of the watch culture will be destroyed. And so that's one of the big things that we spend a bit of time about, and looking at what solutions could be put in place to alleviate that fear. And it doesn't have to be that watches move at all. We won't be starting with a blank canvas. Under that proposal of that option, it would mean a reduction of, on average, 2 posts for a single pump station. That doesn't mean to say you can't use the shift pattern as it currently is. It's just about providing that extra resilience for times when training and sickness are needed to be covered with the 2 people being lost up. But rather than looking further afield at other stations, it's about looking at your station staffing pool and reducing the amount of movement of staff, kit travelling into work, and people committing to their work at the place where they are, and not having to move locations.
So if people want to get involved and they want to speak to you because they've got ideas, or as a team, what are the ways they can contribute to this?
Well, one of the first and quick and easy ways, if you've got immediate questions, is personally to ring and ask. However, I'd encourage people to start to have the environment of open, so that everyone can do that, and we're not repeating the same questions, and I'm not having to repeat myself, is to engage through the forum. That's a really good way, whereas if one person's got a question where they need further understanding, post it on there. That one reply is not just going to reply to you, it's going to alleviate a lot of anxiety and give understanding to a lot of other people as well. So first of all, I'd ask it through the forum. That will improve the way that when we do come out to stations and we're having face-to-face talks, we've already started from a place where there's some common understanding, and that would be the next case. Get in touch with me, ask what availability is for us to come out and sit with the watch and talk in an open face-to-face environment, which I believe is the best way we should be doing that.
It's a job, ain't it? So once everybody's once we've got to the position, and people are still they're obviously asking you to come out. Just for clarity, what are the next steps in the short term? Because there's loads of rumours around right, from the 1st of April we're going to implement the new shift pattern. We don't know what it is, we're just going to do it. Just so everybody can understand what's our time frames here.
So the time frames, we've still got January where we want full engagement, so that needs to increase. Although I've spoken to around about 15% of the workforce so far, I believe there's room to move that on further, so everybody's got the same understanding. The second week of February, on the 16th, the options that we've currently got, and hopefully some more ideas that have come from people. An example of that would be, a lot of people are talking about 24-hour shift systems for us to explore in ideas, which is what we want to do through January. But whatever we come up with, in addition to the 4 options at the moment, they'll go to Fire Authority. What is likely then is that there'll be an agreement that we can look to trial some of these options in a safe environment through next year, going past April. So there's no overall change to the staffing model as we currently do. People's leave as it's being booked now will be honoured and in line with that, but we want to take this opportunity because we believe it's the best time to get an understanding of how these models will work and how individuals, watches and stations can come up with solutions that can alleviate a lot of the fears that people have got now. So the time frames, we're in a good position. It's quite tight about the options and that, but next year we'll be able to run a number of trials which can look at the different options in a safe environment.
And do we know what trials, what locations, who's going to run it yet?
No, not at all. We've got some ideas, obviously, from a response. We know from the different models that are being put forward where they would need to be. So we know, for instance, we would like to run a trial on a single pump station. We would like to run a trial on a station where there is a 24-hour and a 12-hour BRV. So, but nothing is set at the moment as to which location that would be, because a lot of this revolves around the understanding of the individuals and the willingness that they want to be involved in the trial. So this will all be about volunteers wanting to be involved and nobody having to be forced into doing this.
Okay.